All right. This is my system. This is what I'm doing and where I'm at today. Um, and I'm kind of going to go a little bit through uh, an evolution of how I've gotten to where I am today. So, first, I'm kind of going to cover um, where I started. I started swing trading stocks with stock options, mainly on the um, daily chart. And with that, everything I learned through day traders on YouTube and tried to apply that to swing trading, on the daily chart. So there was kind of like I had to learn to manipulate things and change things, and what might work as a day trader or intraday trader doesn't always work as a swing trader. So I started developing, kind of learning on my own. And the base of my trading strategy was support resistance. It was something that instantly clicked with me. It made sense. I understood it. It helped me see the market. And in that journey of support resistance, I kind of added, supply demand, which is just a bigger, further spread apart support and resistance. Went back to support resistance. Added Started adding in and taking out indicators. I would watch videos, I'd learn about an indicator, I would try it on paper trading, and then I'd take it away. Um, Either just didn't understand it or anything. I did end up coming to an understanding of the 50 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average. And so I had taken support resistance, added those, and that helped improve how I see the market. And that carried me on and into live trading. And in live trading, I kind of thought I had a playbook, but I didn't. I thought I was back testing, but I maybe I was, but it wasn't like I do now. Um, it was just a big learning curve, and so my first year of trading live was quite a ride. Um, and so every time I gathered a few losses, it was like, well, maybe I need to watch some more videos. I need to do stuff, and either I tweak a little too much or try something that didn't really work with support resistance, or adding more indicators and taking indicators away. And one of the things that in the back of my head I always tried to do, I tried to add in trend lines, and really thought those made sense, but I could never make them look good. Like they made sense, but they didn't. Um, at the end of the first year of live trading, I joined Tori's. Actually, first of 2025, I joined Tori's trend line, and her way of doing trend lines really made sense. Um, and it improved my trading. It improved my confirmation to my support resistance levels. And at that time, I was also, that's where I developed my four phase trading system, backtesting system, was through this urgency to like get a playbook, get this thing, get me something that I know I'm going to work on. In that process, I kind of learned that support resistance was where I really, really do still see the market the best. And then I saw that trend lines really are just a support resistance line that is at an angle. And because I used the 50 and the 200, I noticed that the 50 and the 200 a lot of times aligned with a good solid trend line. And knowing that, I took the 50 and the 200 off my trading. I decided to not use that anymore. It was causing me to get into trades too late and stuff. I took it off, and it 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 improved. And so I kind of built a system, support resistance and trend lines, and was making it work. And I realized that there's a lot of things that I had done before that I almost forgot. As you're trying to improve your trading, you forget some things that were really good and quality things. I also did a lot of studying on candlestick patterns, candlestick trading. So that's a big portion of my setup. I'm looking for that. Uh, and I think overall is really my biggest goal, and it still is to really just see the market and see the price action, the market structure, and to understand it. Um, I got a system now. The only time I make a change is because I feel like I'm improving on support resistance, or I'm improving on how I read the trend lines, or I'm improving on how I see market structure. So I don't change things. I alter only if I feel like it's going to improve it, and I back test that before I try it on live trading. So with that, I have a handful of playbooks that I use, a 3 touch point and a 2 touch point break. These are kind of getting lesser or more of a confluence type to what's happening with the support level. I have the trendline bounce play. I have an all-time high breakout playbook, and I just added this one. Is this a support level breakout, which isn't really much different than my all-time high. It's just a different process. I'm finding that I can get support level breakouts that aren't confirmed with a trend line and are solid. And so I decided to add that because I wouldn't be taking them because it didn't have a playbook. So I added that recently. I back tested and proved that what I'm seeing is working. So that's kind of where I'm at now. These are my main playbooks. Oh, I also have a not in the plan playbook. So if I ever take that, and what you're looking here is this is all my back testing stats. So looking at my rules of my playbooks, they're almost all identical. So I want what I call a retest or a pause. So that's basically a pullback. So once either we break, and sometimes this can happen prior to the break, and I'll explain it. I'll show a little bit of that here in a second when I pull up charts. The price will attempt to move, pull back, basically, and then break, or it'll break, pull back, and then it'll take off. So those are kind of the little things that I'm looking for. I'm either looking for that prior to the break or after the break. This no retest entry is pretty much going to go away. I don't trade that anymore. If I break a 3 touch point trend line, I still want that retest. I used to like this, but I hardly use it anymore. They all have to be low risk. I have additional confluences. We have a support resistance level at the trend line breakout. I want to know, did I take it? Was there a full candle after the breakout? Was the candle a strong breakout? These are additional confluences. These could be tag items, but I kind of like to have them in my playbook. Trade management. I am currently only working with a trend, set a take profit. So I have added this take profit as a mandatory rule right now for me on my trading, and I plan on keeping it. I used to have that or just trailing the candle, and then if we went sideways, get out, and then if a structure breaks, exit This one's kind of still there, but it doesn't come up very much. So you can see that that's my 3 touch point. You'll see that my 2 is pretty close to the same. The only difference with the 2 touch point is this confluence of the trend line has to be there. I have to have a trend line reaction, whether that's a bounce or a break of a trend line with the 2 touch point before or after break. Same low risk, same confluences, same trade management. Keeps it simple, keeps it easy to manage. My trend line bounce. This one can be a little different. So the trend line bounce, if it's a two bounce trend line, if it's the point B, it must have a support resistance level. So it must be bouncing off the support resistance. So basically it's retesting a support resistance level with a trend line. A third bounce, because again, a trend line is basically a support resistance level. So if I have a third bounce on a trend line, that's basically the retest of the trend line, because the point A is the beginning of it. Point B confirms a trend. The point C, the third bounce, is actually making that a support level. That's confirming this is a support level. So it's kind of like a retest on a support level. I want a solid reversal signal and solid confirmation signal. That's my setups for the trend lines bounce. The only additional confluences is a trend line bounce or support resistance level, and then the same trade management. And then I'm going to just show you the support level breakout, because it's pretty much the all-time high breakout is the same thing, only at all-time high, which all-time high is basically a very, very strong support level. So for this one, higher time frames confirmed that we're good. We have the retest pause before or after the breakout. Most of these will be after the breakout. That's the key one. Low risk. My confluences are, did I have a double top or a double bottom? This is based off of the higher time frame, and I'll get to that when I show you my system. This is only based off of the daily chart. Was I bouncing off the 50 or the 200 MA off of the daily chart? I don't use these on my lower time frames, only on the daily chart. And then trail stop with the TP is the only one I'm using. You can see here currently. So those are my playbooks, and that's how I set them up. They're pretty simple. Oh, of course you got to know what not in plan is. It's got one rule: exit trade as soon as entered. If I can recognize that I entered a trade that's not per my rule books, I need to exit it. Get out. Don't care what happens. That is a very, very hard thing for me to do. Once I enter a trade, it's like to just kill it really takes a lot of energy for me. So I'm getting better at that. I guess the big key is just don't enter a trade that's not per your playbook. So those are my playbooks. And that's what I backtest. When I backtest, I'm backtesting all of these. Those are my base rules. And now I want to kind of go through some charts. And I was hoping to have something that's not popping up. There it is. All right. So these are some trades I've taken. Oh, hang on. My little markup tool's not working, so give me a second. All right. Hopefully I get this. There it is. So on this trade, I have support resistance here, trend line here. We went from kind of going flat, and so I'm looking, and now we've got a higher high. We've come down and we broke this support level, and I'm creating a new move. So now I've basically cleared this last point here, and I have a support level here that I want to clear. So we bumped it. We came up, we bumped it, we pulled back, and we broke. And at this point, we broke it. Now I want to see a pullback. I want to see a good reversal, but I want to see a pullback of about anywhere from 1 to 4 candles. That looks good. And then I'm looking. Once I see that, I can set my entry right at the top of that, which this is the bonus of the trend line. This is another confluence, is I'm also breaking a trend line. So now we've established we got some movement back upstream. If the trend line wasn't right there, if that wasn't a new point for a trend line, I would have been looking just at the support resistance level, which we broke, we came back, it's the same thing. I would have still taken it. It's just nice to have the trend line and the extra support level. Entered here, and then on this particular one, I scaled out. We got a move up. I scaled out, and then we got another move up. I scaled out, and then held through this. Looks like I got an exited somewhere in here. This would be the pull down, probably right here. And so with that's the things that I'm looking for. Since this particular one, most of my support levels now are really focused on key pivots, recent key pivots, according to the trend. So if I entered here, I would have moved my stop to here at this after this candle. This candle came up. You can see the wicks here. I'm waiting for a candle to where the body of the candle is going to break that wick. So I'll keep my stop down here. Actually, if I scaled out, I probably move my stop here to break even, for just to lock in, not lose any money. So I'm waiting for this candle. This was obviously a huge break of this wick. The body is well above it. So I'd have moved just below that. And now I'm waiting. This candle, the body broke it, but the candle's weak. Candle's weak, and we got a little pullback. And now I'm looking for something that'll break this area here comfortably. So I'm probably watching this come up. This looks good. I probably would have put my stop somewhere in this area, just below that, because we're going sideways. So I don't want to wait for it to come down. Nothing happens. We get moving up, and we finally get this candle right here, which would be good. So I'd probably put my stop right there. And then we got another good move up. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Oh no, wait. You know what? I'm wrong. Let me. It's because I can't read. I scaled out one here. I exited here, right where I was showing my mark. So, yeah, I would have come up, would have put my exit right there. And so that's kind of how I'm trailing my stop in this scenario. I got a lot of charts to run through, so let's be patient. So yeah, that was it. That was me coming in with four contracts on that. This is back testing. Right now I'm pretty much one, and I'm focused on a taking profit. Uh, this works great, and I plan on probably getting back to it more. But in my live trading, I get greedy. I get to where I'm chasing the money. I get to where I start moving my stop back down. So what I'm doing is I have a set place to take a profit, and then if it keeps going, I don't care. So my live trading right now, I have a take profit. Looking at this one for the setup, we're heading in. We're just, for me, you got a support here, a support here, and you can just watch this start really narrowing down. It's like the price is getting tighter. The bump, it's like a, I don't know how to say it, but it's just getting tighter, 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 tighter. And so I'm looking for a breakout here. We got this little. This is what I was watching. We got this little hit here. We kind of broke it here with this. Came down. We got a hit, and then we just made a quick adjustment move. And so I would have set an entry right here at just above this level. Just above that level, which is what I did, which would entered me here, and then my stop needs to be down here at this bottom level. So this was the latest low. We got that, and we got it going. I'm waiting for this to clear out of this zone before I move my stop, which was this candle. At that candle, I can move my stop to just here. It's kind of a consolidation breakout. We got this movement, and now we're kind of going sideways. With this little candle right here, that's where I want to move my stop. It's below the trend. It's below this support level. Kind of broke it, so now I'm worried that price might just kind of pop up, do a pullback and then break right straight down. So I got it here. It stayed safe. It moved on. I would move up to here. We got another good strong candle there. Would have moved up to here. I'm waiting for another good move. We got another good move. Move my stop to here. I'm waiting again. This is the top of the wick. I'm looking for a good strong push above that. This one is a good candle. Barely broke it. I'm going to wait. We get another good move. I'm going to move that up to here. So I'm not going underneath this candle. I kind of consider these two little guys part of this candle's movement. So I'm waiting, get a pullback. I'm staying safe. And then we move on up. I can see probably right about here. This candle's now breaking and clearing this top. and then it looks like I got and held here, and I didn't move it up any further, which was my loss. This, if I stuck to my rules, I would have gone here, I would have gone to here, and I would have been knocked out here, because this is a good strong candle movement. So you can kind of see how this was basically taking a consolidation that was just getting narrower and narrower, and just pretty much got pinched in that wedgie, got a little wedgie, and got a good breakout on it. Now that I'm really wanting more of a retest, I probably would have waited for this break, this pullback, and then I probably would have got in up here. Would have lost just a little bit more money by getting in a little later, but had I had my stop loss too close, I could have gotten wicked out there, because I didn't necessarily wait for a pullback, and I'm trying to make sure I wait for those pullbacks. That's just a little patience thing that I'm working on. This particular one, we're climbing up, but not like, I don't see like solid good stair steps, but we're still climbing up. So that's market structure. I'm watching the market structure. After we came down, we cleared this big move, and now we're cleared this big move. And so I'm kind of watching, and we came down, price kind of pulled up, took a big drop, turned around, kind of gave me an engulfing candle, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it was continuing the move. So I went ahead and got in here. This candle broke, and then I went up and got, my candle up here. This move right here is, if you see this, I call this walking the line. It broke this support level, but it just had nothing going on. So I would move my stop loss up tighter, just to catch from it turning around on me. And sure enough, it did. This particular one here, honestly, was a trend line break that I probably wouldn't be taking anymore. We have a good push down. We start climbing back up. We hit this trend line, created the trend line, came down. It was this rejection here. So this was probably more of a kind of a based off of the bounce. And then we broke through and got in. I got in at the top of this candle here, and it really didn't go anywhere. Looking at this trade now and knowing that I want a good retest, and this is why I say that even no matter how many touch points, I want a good retest. This one also was a 2 touch point break without a trend line. So these are the little mistakes that I make in the past. I'd get in because we got a 2 touch point break. I'm looking at that. I'm thinking of this, but I'm not realizing I need a retest. I don't have it. It's a 2 touch point, and I don't have a support level. We're at all-time high right here, and I'm getting in. I can't even get a 1-to-1. So this particular trade was just an example of how I think I got a trade coming, and I don't. So I like those because it helps me see where am I making my mistakes. I'm just getting in too early. I'm just trying to I'm overthinking things and not really just waiting for what I need. This one's beautiful. I love it when So we had we were coming down, and then we said, no, we're going to go back up. And you can just see those beautiful stair steps. Higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low. And this is where the retest or pause before the breakout really helps. Is we came up, we couldn't clear this high. We came up, 1, 2 down, and then we're getting rejected. This is the third point on this trend line. This, remember I was saying that trend line is a support level too. After the second touch point, if it hits again, it's pretty much a support level. And so we have a support level. We came down 1, 2, it hit here, and then started breaking again. I enter just above the last high. I enter there. My stop loss is this last low down here. And so I would have had my stop loss. Actually, with that support level, I'd probably have my stop loss right here. Price goes, we get this nice little bump and a beautiful candle up. We're starting to carry that stair step case all the way up. I would go break even after this candle here. Then we got this candle, move up to there, just below that. I always give it a few ticks, a little bit of wiggle room. Then we got, I don't like this candle as much as I like this one right here. So I probably would have went up here, and I should have been knocked out here. So I'm thinking in this back test session, I did not move it up as quick and probably kept it right here, which is not uncommon for me. And I survived the drawdown. We got another move right there. And it's kind of a, you know, when I look at that, it's kind of a, you know, is this candle part of that candle move kind of thing. Then moved up here after this candle. And honestly, I should have had that moved up in here. It's again another example of me waiting, and it probably was because of a support resistance level. Hang here, see if we get another bounce off of it. I'm fine with it. It was a good trade. It was in profit. You know, those are the decisions we make in trade management. I have pretty good hard rules to get me to trail my stop and move that on. And I'm noticing that most of my examples are all long, so I must be a long bias person. Never noticed that before. Here's my stop loss. Here's my entry. This is an entry based on the same thing. You kind of see where we got a good move up, another good move up. We came down. Then we kind of went up, 1, 2 down. We got this dotted lines of support level. This is breaking out of jail. Got a good little action here. Got in at above this last high, and then, you know, we took off. Would have been break even till about this candle. Would have sat here underneath the support level, waiting. Got a pull back. Probably put my stop loss here. Oh, this particular trade at this point, and I don't have it. Yeah, this particular trade is on this point. It was after I scaled out, I actually went to the 4-hour chart and started back, you know, trailing by the 4-hour chart. And that is why this one brought me up so much higher. Because if I did that on the hourly, I probably wouldn't have survived that long. I probably would have been out right here. but I was trailing by the 4-hour chart on my back testing, and it exited here. This one we got we broke down kind of a fake out breakout of this trap we're in between all-time high. It broke down and worked its way back up, came in, had a kind of a, in my eyes, it tried to go higher, came down, and then it just kind of petered, but we got this beautiful rejection. So now I have 1, 2 double bottom off of this breakout rejection, and we got this move here. We got a little bit of a pullback, and so I got in right here, and then again trailed up. You can see here's one that got trailed properly, got trailed up clear up to here, and got to exit out here before the all-time high. This one here, again, you got little movements coming up, and then it comes down, doesn't quite get up. You get like a 1, 2, 3, 4 rejection off of this. This point's kind of a double bottom and a huge candle. It hit the trend line, so this trend line was already established. So now it's a support resistance level. So I already got a point B. This now is a support resistance. It hit it here and then pulled back and then took off again. And because I have this support resistance level, I wanted to get in just above it. And then same thing, trail it by candle all the way up, get out, got knocked out right up in here off of this point right here. So this is the same thing. Like I said, this is a support level. I'm sorry, this is turned into a support. To me, it's a trend line at point B. But once you get a point, you get a rejection off it on a third point, you're now essentially a support level. And it's no different. So if anybody's trading support resistance, trend lines become a support level after the third bounce. If it's getting rejected, that's now acting as a support level. Before that, it's just a trend line. Here's a good one where we broke it, we came back, we broke again, and I waited for the pullback. This is like picture perfect to me. We broke the trend line, came back, got a beautiful rejection right here, and then we took off. I would have entered above this above the top. I give a little wiggle room just in case it wants to kind of go up and then drop back down. And then with that, I had a take profit. So this one is where I'm at now, where I have my stop loss, I have my entry, and I have a take profit, and I just took profit. No need to trail, although I would have trailed up to break even and probably underneath this big one, and then probably underneath that one as it's moving to my take profit. This one is also, it was more contracts, but again, wait, this one already did this one. It's a duplicate. Boom. I don't want to do that. Oh, look, a short. I do take shorts. This one here, and this is funny now. I see this now. Sly had mentioned this. I think it came up in conversation today about how your trend line, you get a gap, and all of a sudden you get a tighter gap. Can be a sign of a breakout, but you know, it went this way. what I'm seeing is we kind of been going sideways, but we're stair stepping now. We're getting this good move. We had a strong move down to this point. It came up, and then it worked its way. It broke the trend line here. This candle broke it, and it pulled back, came up, and so now, because this is a support level, I want to get in at the bottom of the support level, and I get in, and I have a TP, take profit, right here. And lastly, not much different than one of them that I already showed. Consolidation. We're getting a move down. I like seeing a strong move like that and seeing how it reacts off of that. And we just basically, I call this a walk in the line. So we have our support level, and it came down and it hit, and it just never really broke this level and gave me a good clear, like, if I saw this break here and we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then started coming back down, then I would have put an entry in under here. It didn't, and then we got a break up. We basically, this is a retest to me, 1, 2, 3 straight across with a nice push back. So I would have entered here probably on this candle, and then I had a TP set. So I would have scaled up. I would have trailed up to break even. I would have trailed underneath this candle, and then probably underneath, actually probably underneath this candle, but it hit my TP, so I was good and out. And that's kind of where I'm at not right now with my live trading. Is I'm setting TPs. I'm setting a 1 to 3 risk and trailing my stop. I went back to my TradeZella and I looked and I saw that I was having really good success, reducing my risk in the trade, and actually consistently making money by setting a take profit. And so I went back through my charts and stuff, and I found that 75% of the time on my instruments I can hit 0 to 500. So I went to look at them closer, and I found that MYM, it hits 300 better. MBT and MGC will hit 500. So I want to take a 1 to 3 within that $300 mark for MYM, and I want to take a 1 to 3 essentially within the $500 mark of on MGC and MBT. And what that's doing is helping me not get into the mindset of chasing the money. It's helping me stay focused. I'm comfortable if it hits my target. A good example of that I can show you. Let me show you on my TradeZella. I posted it. Oops. Current win I had here on MYM on Friday. The morning, so this happened overnight, which is rare for MYM to move that overnight. It had a great pullback, and I was doing my pre-market setup, and I do watch the VIX, and I was watching the VIX, and the VIX was just in double digits for bearish momentum that morning. And so I set an entry here, and I set this here, which was a $50 stop. And so I just put for $150. I don't do ticks. Thinkorswim's not good with ticks. They do it, but it's just not as intuitive. So I just do dollars. I'm fine with dollars. but I got this. So I had a $50 risk. I got a $150 profit, but price just I almost wouldn't have expected it to blow through all time high. But it did. It blew right through all time high. And I'm okay with that. I got what I want. I can scale into this. If I can hit this consistently, I feel like I can scale into it and increase my contract size. I can increase my contract size. I can get out as a 3 to 1 and then let some ride and hold it and at least make the 3 to 1. So it's something that I feel can be workable and something that I've heard over and over and over again and from professional traders that just I think is finally actually clicking for me. But so that's my system. I know I've been hearing a lot of dings. I hope I can keep up with the conversation. So let me scroll back, see what we got going here. I use, if I'm reading this right, Alicia, I use all of those playbooks. All those playbooks are in the back of my mind when I'm looking at my trading. So I kind of back test them regularly. They're pretty, like I said, they're all pretty darn similar. So it's not too difficult for me to follow all of those. How can we get those playbooks to practice on our trade? Memory, you can take the concepts. The playbook isn't, I don't know how to say this. My playbook isn't going to help you. It's a good concept, but you got to find your playbook. I highly suggest back testing support resistance. Learn support resistance. Learn and understand your trend lines if you're using those. And my back testing system will help you figure that out. But yeah, looking at my playbooks, unless you're thinking with my brain, it just won't help you. On the big candle breaking the trend line, do you set a limit order? All my entries are stop entries. So a limit order will get hit if the price hasn't reached it. So if I'm looking at it, because of my job, I will set everything as a stop entry. I see a position where I want to get in, and I know that let me get a good one. So for here, okay, I'm seeing that we're hitting and everything's looking good. So I want to clear this last high. This has got a double top right here, plus other support. So I want to make sure I'm clearing that. So I'm just going to set a stop entry with a stop loss, and that will trigger a stop loss and a take profit. And so I'll set that stop entry right here just above this level, because I want to break that. This double top tells me it could turn around. So I set that, I go to work, I don't think about it, I get hit, I check my chart once an hour, because I trade on the hourly throughout the day to just manage it after that. But I'll usually see a move, I'll see a setup, and I find a point that is safe that will keep me from getting wicked out. And that's where I set a stop entry, so I can set it at any time and walk away. It looks like it's consolidating. It was. I think I saw that one. Is it a good idea to enter the trade at different time frame and then move to different time frame to look for exit? So I want to, let me share my actual chart, and I'll show you how I didn't add this to the conversation, and I should have. My setups thoroughly require higher time frame confirmation. You can see here I got monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. I trade the 1 hour. On my Sunday setup, when I go through my charts on my Sunday setup, I'm looking to see where we at in the month. This is what the months prior been doji's, a lot of indecision going on here. And where we at in this month. So this is only a week into the month and we're already skyrocketed. So to me that's bullish. Then I want to look at the weekly. Where are we going? What was last week? Last week we broke all-time high. If you can see the pattern here. So here we are. I mean, this is the same thing, just in a weekly time frame. We're climbing up. We're climbing up. We got a little consolidation. We bumped up. We got 1, 2, 3, and it took off. So I got that higher time frame confirmation. So I know last week we took off. So this week I'm going to say that we're going to be bullish. And that's my Sunday setup, getting my head wrapped around. So I know that for MYM, I do not take shorts. I only take a long. Because these two higher time frames are telling me to take long. Every morning before I trade, I go through and I look at, I have this marked out on my, let me see, give you a good example. So this is what I do every morning. On Sunday, I set these, this is the first one is the monthly, the second one's the weekly. So I know we're MBT's in a downtrend. MYM was an uptrend and down. So that's telling me there's a little confusion on it. So I need the daily time frame to confirm to match one of these for a direction. MGC sideways to two down and down. So this one I prefer a short. I won't take a long. So then as the week goes, I cut and paste that into my daily notes, and then I type in like, what's the daily doing? What are we looking at for the daily? And then if it looks like it's going to be a trade, I'm like, okay, what's the 4 hour look like? What's the 1 hour look like? And then a comment. If it looks good, all these are matching, then I have, show you, I probably got one in here. See, nothing happening here. There we go. It never got in this trade, but I had it set up. It looked good, and then so I'm like, okay, so what would be my playbook, and how am I going to do trade management on it? And so now this one, I set a stop entry, but it never got hit. So it never panned out. This MGC did get hit, and it panned out, and it played. So that's how I do my morning analysis with a higher time frame. So I every day I look at the daily. And this is where I got the 200 and the 50. I also have volume. I want to see what the daily volume is. I'm looking to see what is the bigger market doing. What's the higher time frame telling me it wants to do? And so I'm looking at this, and we have had a kick off of this is the MYM. So we had a kick off the 50. We came back down to it. We're kind of in consolidation, but we came back to the 50 and or the trend line, however you want to look at it. And we started, so when I got in, this rejection was up in here. And then I saw that little pullback, and I saw the VIX telling me, this is the VIX, was in this mark change was in double digits. Not that one, this one. The percentage was in double digits. This is the VIX futures, which I also watch. They're both a little different. But yeah, so I got in it, and it took off. So I'll look at that. Trade looks good, then I'm down to the 4 hour, and I'm down to the 1 hour. And there's that little pullback that I took on that. and everything was telling me it was going up. So that's confidence. If I was looking at this for a long, but everything above was telling me it's going short, I would not have taken that trade. I'm not going to get caught in a whipsaw. So it's just getting everything to line up. So that's. I hope that made sense. So I hope that made, yeah. Some people drop to a lower time frame for entries and exits. Some stay on the same time frame. I trade the 1 hour. So for me, going to the higher time frames to see what the big boys are doing to confirm my 1 hour trade, that is normal. If you trade the 1 hour, but you want to drop to the 5 minute for your entry and then go back to the 1 hour, that is probably not suggested as much. But does it work or not? I don't know. That's where I always try to coach you guys to learn your own system. I'd stay on the same time frame the whole time if you are just starting. Yeah, I did. I did that. I stayed in the time frame I was trading the whole time. I take it back. I've always kind of looked at the higher time frame, only I didn't know how to read it as well. I'd glance at it and say, "Oh, that's an uptrend," but then I'd take a short. I think this year I made one of my goals was to focus on the higher time frame and learn how to make the higher time frame, the big boys I say, tell me how to trade, which direction. When you say scale out, what does that mean? It means that I came in to the trade with 2, 3 multiple contracts, and at a certain point I sold a portion of those and then let the rest run. So if you go in with 4 contracts, you can essentially sell one at specific levels as price moves up, which is what Caveman Taco just said. I was going to ask about higher time frame alignment for your bias, so that was perfect. Good. The preparation is beautiful. Build your confidence and acceptance of your risk. Yes. I'm a big believer that if you're jumping into the market with no preparation, you are entering the market with what I just said, no preparation. You're just going to end up jumping into stuff. I used to trade the 4 hour back in November. I went to the 1 hour. And I only did that because I was able to. I traded the 4 hour because of my job and it was easier to manage. But with my management system, all I have to do is check the charts once an hour if I'm in a trade. And I can set up a trade prior with the way I enter a trade. So, yeah. I think that's it. I'm going to stop the recording.